there was an accident just now. When I used Hagel, it never asked for a password, but this time it did. So, you know what? Actually, I forgot my password. But fortunately, actually, there's a Hagel app on my wife's phone, and she is with me. Now I'm using her phone. That's actually my good luck. Because last time I asked her to download an app, a Hagel. I'm sorry for this accident. You know what? I forgot the password, and I kind of remember what the password was like, but I just couldn't make it. And also I tried to use forget the password function, but the page never popped up. The page never popped up. Maybe because of the internet, limitation in China. It's hard to open a website. You know what? Actually, give me a minute. Let me mount my wife's phone on my gimbal in a minute. All right. And I'm here in the in an attraction that I'm to show you. You can see a lot of people here. So now I need to ask my wife for help. 王兰兰，来一下，帮我这个手机先拿一下，你先往前拍这一下，你就拍前面的景色好。我觉得这些还是对江宁没办法比。然后这样，对，堵得往前走。哎，鸡蛋汉堡，好糖好糖。好了，还好，运气不错。All right, now it's all set. It's a lesson. I should have remembered the password of Hagel. You know, I used the password only once when I first logged up, but later I never used it. Every time when I started my tour, I just pressed the bottom of the application, and then I was able to do the tour right away. All right, guys, thank you for coming to my tour. And you can see this is a quite busy place, very different from other places that I showed you in my previous tours. Thank you, John. A lot of people, and you can see the place attracts also a lot of shutterbugs. And I'm in the place called in Chinese Maihuayu Cun. Maihuayu Cun, and the last character Cun means village. So what actually really has a meaning here is the first three characters, Mai, Hua, Yu. And Mai literally means cell. Hua is a flower. Yu here means fishing instead of fish. All right, try to figure out the difference between these two words. Yeah, and I'm going to explain the difference in Chinese. These two Chinese characters, how they are different in English in a minute. And just now, let's say almost 1 hour ago, we parked our car down the hill around here, and then we walked up for maybe half an hour. And on the way, we tried to look for public toilets, but I never found it. So before the tour started, I rushed into a toilet in the last minute. So when I used the Hagel, there was the accident. This is the busiest spot of all my tours so far. I would not say this is actually a nationwide famous tourist attraction, not at all. And if you ask if this is a provincial tourist attraction, I would say no, it's still not. This is a more of a local attraction. But I would say this local attraction at its level probably comes at the top in terms of how busy it is. You can see obviously there are a lot of people, and the flag shows a group. There are actually a lot of tourist groups here. And this is a weekend. This is a weekend. It's a Sunday morning, 9:40. Yeah, around 9:40. I am here with my wife, my 2 children, and also a friend, a lady who's a lady, and her daughter. There are cars passing here in this narrow road, and this is for both cars and pedestrians. When we walked in for about more than half an hour, there were a lot of cars coming to and fro. There's some kind of food here. All right, the selling points of this village, guess if it is in its fish or fishing or in its flowers. The answer is flower, and it mainly features plum blossoms. So later, we will definitely get to some good spots for some beautiful views with the mountains, people, and the flowers, the plum blossoms. Wow. Wow. An uproar was just created by a loudly honking vehicle. And here's a motorcycle. Usually, I do not go for a busy place like this. It's not my preference. And I didn't expect to see that many people. We tried to come here early. And we actually got here. We parked our car 1 hour ago. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. 他们人呢? You know what? You can see the views, but you cannot smell things here. And with all the vehicles, motorized vehicles passing every time, I just smelled the bad smell of gas. Huh? 有人结婚? There's a wedding here. There's a wedding. And obviously this is a dwelling of a local villager family. And they are having a wedding today. This is what I heard, overheard. And let's see what is going on here. Take a closer look. And the gate is well decorated with balloons and Chinese red lanterns and other embellishments. A lot of people. All right. And you can see bonsai. Today's tour also features bonsai. A lot of pine bonsai trees. All right. Let me go back to the main track where people are walking. Guys, I'm in a very crowded place, and the path is pretty narrow. A lot of people walking here. Is there a name for this event? This is just somebody's wedding, John. And I'm in the Maihuayu flower selling fishing village. All right, now let me explain more about the name of this village. Actually, there's no big river or sea around here. Not right around here. And the reason it is called a fishing village, and I actually, maybe you noticed that I put a quotation marks on this character or on this English word fishing. Because here's the thing, this village doesn't have a direct relation with the water in terms of its name. Actually, it is because the entire village, if you look from above, it looks like a fish. It looks like a whole fish. 所以说你们可以再往前走好了。走的话，你们可以提前帮我打个前哨，知道吧？因为有些时候顾不上往来了。其实也没事啊，前面的话是什么嘛？哦，好吧。Actually, we are here first time, and we are getting familiar with it. And now my wife just told me we need to go back to the main track because the other main attractions are along the main track. All right, now let me turn around and give you another look at this family's courtyard. And they have a big event today that is their wedding. And you can see in the hall, in the room, there is a big Chinese character in red. That means double happiness. It's the typical character you see in a Chinese wedding everywhere. Yeah, it means double happiness. Happy for the bride and happy for the groom. Oh, now I see actually the couple. They are appearing and they're sitting down. Can you see them? Huh. Maybe not because it's dark in the room. I need to get closer. Yeah, and I said this village, if you look at from above, it looks like a fish. The whole fish, including the tail, the head, everything. That's why it's called a fish village. But why a fishing village? Let me explain. Because the villagers in this village are basically surnamed Hong in Chinese language. And that character, Hong, means surge, surge, something like this. It means surge. Yeah, when it's coupled with other Chinese characters, uh, those phrases are usually related to water and how water just goes very fast and powerful. So it basically means surge. But this character surge, it has a radical on the left, and that radical usually in Chinese language suggests water. Therefore, local people they combine the form of the village that is like a fish with the main last name of the villagers here, which has something to do with water to make fishing. And this Chinese character is actually composed of two parts. One is the radical I just talked about, and the other part is the character for fish. That's why. And here is the red carpet. All right, maybe this is their private event. Let's stop here. You can see a lot of bonsai. Wow. This is an elm tree. A lot of small anthems, very robust and grotesque looking elm tree. Is divorce common in China, David? Yes, I would say yes. Actually, we read figures about Chinese divorce rates years ago. It was pretty high, especially in big cities like Shanghai. Very high, actually. And actually, in China, talking about divorce, there is quite a unique phenomenon in China that is a fake divorce. You know, in China, because there are a lot of policies monolaterally manipulated by the government. And some policies, people want to take advantage of the policy. And in doing so, they sometimes create the fake divorce so that they can, go around the limitations from the policy. For example, years ago, there was a policy against a couple buying an extra property. In Chinese circumstance, mostly an apartment. So people, they created a fake divorce. They divorced purposely in the first place. So regarding the second place, if they actually came back together in another marriage, I'm not sure. Maybe, yeah. But it's there's a risk. There's a risk. All right. And there is also an ancestral temple in this village. I know that. And it's called the ancestral temple of the Hong family. Hong, Hong. Well, in this pronunciation, there are a lot of Chinese characters, but that particular one means search. When it's coupled with, for example, 洪水, 水, which means water. 洪水, 洪水 means flood. It has something to do with water and big water. Well, I think on my tour 2 days ago, I tried to show you the plum blossoms on the mountain. And here you can see all those plum blossoms in a pot. And in Chinese, this is called pengjing. It's very similar to the Japanese word that is bonsai. And, I'm not sure about the relationship, but you can see these two words sound very similar phonetically. In Japanese, bonsai. Bonsai. In Chinese, penzai or penjing. Yeah, literally it means from Chinese, potted landscape. People sometimes they make a tree in addition to some other miniature, for example, decorations to form a landscape. That's why it's called a potted landscape. It's an indispensable part of Chinese garden culture. When you cultivate a garden, you definitely need some bonsai, part of the landscape, in one way or another. And guys, you know what? Actually, it's a sunny day. There's some strong beams of sun. Maybe for me, I don't see the screen sometimes all that well. All right, so, but I will try to show the best to you. You can see almost every family here is specialized in bonsai. That's right, River Hong. Yes. This is the one. This is the character. And you see in that character, the left part is what we call a radical in English, radical. And or maybe like a kind of a fixation. Yeah. Prefix or suffix anyway. And that suffix, prefix, let's say, it suggests water. In Chinese, a lot of Chinese characters that have something to do with water have that part on the left. And now here is our group, and I'm filming the rest of our group members. My wife is holding my son and my daughter, and there's another lady and her daughter. Okay, let's keep walking. I think I would like to show you some better angles of bonsai and landscapes later, not here. It's not very open here. The space is not open here. I need some more space and landscape. What were they selling? Oh, they were selling the endemic products, including flowers and bonsai. And just now, I saw some men and also ladies selling nuts, like pine nuts, walnuts, etc. Yeah. And I would say this morning when we started, my car actually was covered in frost. That suggests it's still pretty cold in the morning. I would say it's kind of typical weather between winter and the spring. Now with the sun coming out, it's getting warmer and warmer, and eventually maybe in the middle of the day, you don't need a coat. You can take off the coat just to wear a sweater. But now you do, you still need it. Yeah, and this has been a very popular concept in China, tourism, that is a 农家乐. 农家乐 in English, sometimes I saw translation, agri-tainment. Agri-tainment. Thank you, Diane. Agri-tainment refers to farmer's home in a village that has been adapted towards tourism. And tourists can go eat at least, or sometimes even stay overnight to enjoy the rural and tranquil, peaceful life in the village. That kind of idea. It's called in Chinese 农家乐. Nong means agriculture. Jia is family or home. And the last character 乐 means fun. Literally, 农家乐 means farmer's home fun. The fun of farmer's home. Like a farm stay. Okay, got it. This village looks quite prosperous. New and larger houses. This morning I drove about 45 minutes here. Not that far. Yeah. But it took actually me 10 minutes to first drive down the mountain where I live. So that means it's not quite far. It's not that far. And here, this is a store selling fruit. It's a kind of berry, like blackberry. Walnuts and pine nuts. Do you hear the honking here from this guy? In his motorized tricycle. And the honking in Chinese, obviously, it actually means free of, eat for free. Look for free. And give you just for free. So that in order to achieve the Chinese dream as soon as possible. It's funny one. Look, eat, and give for free in order to achieve Chinese dream sooner than later. A small business is also associated with a social aim. Wow. Here's the smell that you cannot get around. It's a stinky tofu. Ooh, stinky tofu. I'm okay with a stinky tofu, but probably is not someone who actually eats a stinky tofu anywhere. Usually, I would maybe buy stinky tofu from a market and just fry them at home. But you know what? Actually, now I'm actually quite free from stinky tofu. That is the influence of my wife, and she's from rural China, but she's very particular in health and hygiene of the food. She suggested that street food like stinky tofu is not healthy and oftentimes not hygienic. So here's her influence, of course. As a couple, people get influenced by each other. All right. So I'm still looking for open space and 兰兰，一会儿有个百步阶梯的，可以看一下在哪里。还有就是说，你们看一下，有一个叫红岭摄影点，还有一个叫中村摄影点。I see actually a small rockery landscape ahead of me. Let's check out. There are 小心点。Walnuts expensive? I think so, April. Walnuts are expensive. Yes. And I would say walnut is also a special specialty, local specialty. When I lived in Shanghai, my wife every spring ordered some walnuts from this area. I don't mean it was actually from this village, but it was from this area. 什么？爬吧。可以呀。你爬到上面去好的呀，好的呀。红林古道摄影点，红林古道摄影点。什么下索道呀？百步云梯前面。你上我上，你上哪呀？太高了，在那边。那个怎么爬呀？爬不出来。走啊。关你那是在哪边？这么走哪？就是，哦呦，放烟火，结婚了。The ladies are cleaning the floor. Firecrackers. Other than Chinese New Year, the occasion when you see the play of firecrackers is usually somebody's wedding, or maybe the grand opening of a big or small business in China. They do that. Actually, in rural China, when someone visits the tomb of their ancestors, they also do the firecrackers. Is this village this crowded every weekend, or is it a special event plus flower festival? John, it's a good question. And actually, I would say throughout spring, which is the busy season for tourism, it's just always that busy every weekend. There's no special events, not a festival, not a carnival, not any special thing going on. Just regularly busy in spring. And because probably, yeah, you can see it features flowers, bonsai, and that is a good selling point. And there's also more organization towards tourism here. When you search on Chinese Sea Trip, which is a very popular app or platform people use in surveying tourism, it pops up as one of the recommended places. That's why. And also there are a lot of tourist groups coming here. And in China, when you see a tourist group, you know, there are people in their at least the 40s, 50s, 60s. Yeah, those kind of people. All right, now we are in a quieter part. What I'm looking for is maybe a good view spot. A view good spot. Yeah, here is a school. This is a local school. I'm not sure if this school is still in regular use because down on the first floor, I see infirmary, a local clinic. Probably it's still a school in use. And I can see the jungle gym, something like this for kids. This is somebody's name, and that number is probably his telephone number. And this name in Chinese characters, 3 Chinese characters. The last one on left is the family name, which is Hong, the common last name of this village. And the other 2 characters are Guo Jun. Guo Jun literally mean state army. So if you in terms of name, the last name doesn't have a meaning. But the first name usually does. And in this case, that guy is a state army. Jun stands for army. It's very commonly used in a lot of people's names. I don't think it's used in the younger generation, probably in the relatively older generation. In people in their 40s, 50s, 60s are very common. And in China, there's another given name that is very common, composed of 2 characters. And these two characters just very literally mean patriotism. All right. Very literal. Yes. Okay, now we are coming to a quieter part. It looks like a place where just local people live with a less tourist influence. Here, good, it's a tourist toilet. Qingshan You mean like a picture here? 现在你们往青山路走。拐弯，拐弯，就这边啊。对，厕所不是对吗？你走好啊。对了，里面还有个你呢。This is a typical dwelling image of this area, the southern Anhui province. Black and white, whitewashed wall and black covered tile roof. Is this an old village? I would say yes, April, Justin. This is an old village. A lot of villagers have been here for a couple of 100 years. In terms of demography in China, people generally in ancient times moved from central part of China to southern part. I mean, this could happen in a wide span over like several hundred years ago, 1,000 or even a bit more than 1,000 years ago. People generally came down from north to South China. This is how Chinese, population in general moved. You can really see that such a beautiful village, it requires a lot of walking. Yeah, Barry. Now we are walking to a small hill. In this part, we hope to get up the hill for a better area views of the entire village if possible. But you know what? So this is our first time here, so we try to navigate to our best and hopefully to your best. 郭晓峰，你跟我走在一起，可以听一下。Let's have a close look at the podocarpus. This kind of bonsai tree is called podocarpus. Have a close look. It's a kind of a pine. And the leaves are not that hard, actually quite soft. In Chinese, we call this tree 罗汉松, which literally means ahert pine. There are two words here. Pine is just the species. Well, ahert here is actually a Buddhist term. Ahert refers to a figure that is below Buddha, below a bodhisattva, which is a goddess. Yeah, in a third place. And it's an ahert is usually above a king, a heavenly king. You know, if you have been to a Chinese temple, you usually get to see, those images like heavenly kings, goddesses like bodhisattvas and a Buddha, right? Well, ahert is usually in the third place in terms of importance and also the cultivation of the Buddhist attainment. And an ahert image usually looks like an ordinary monk. It's not very decorated. It's just like an ordinary monk, but they are very wise people. They are like the wisest scholars in Buddhism. And also, when Buddhism first founded by Sakyamuni, and it was the aherts, those scholars who helped spread the teachings of Buddhism, which made a very important foundation for the promulgation of Buddhism, the scholars. In Chinese culture, there's also a tendency to appreciate scholars more than military figures. Yeah. Actually, Chinese people, they do worship power. That's definitely for sure. But culturally, they tend to like play the importance more of a scholar. This is probably related to also the Chinese imperial examination system. Yeah, in ancient times of China, a man, uh, probably the only way for them to change the fate of life was to study and became a scholar after passed the imperial examination. And then, according to how your test result was allocated a post, official post. 那好久，好久。我关键是要讲的话，我就不方便再去看很多东西了，需要你们帮我提前打个前哨。Your son is really getting taller now. Oh, Barry. Thank you for saying that. We are always happy when we know that children are bigger, or at least taller. I actually don't want him to be bigger. Yeah, I actually want him to be thinner, just like how I like myself to be. I don't like to be big. I mean, too strong or too big, too plump. I prefer to be a little bit thin. Kevin, a friend from the USA, Barry, says you look taller this time. He noticed you, and he said you look taller. All right. This is a good view. The ladies are doing their daily errand. And on the wall here, we see some fading graffiti Chinese characters on the wall from Mao's era. And you know what? There are 5 characters. I can easily recognize the first 4 characters from left, and it's socialism. And the last one actually to me, I can't tell. It's too blurred. Oh, maybe, yeah, it's good. I think it's good. I got it. Probably that character is good. Socialism is good. 哎，拿去啥地方了？等一下，我这边拍一下照给他们看。All right, maybe you like to have some good views here. There's an old house with a bonsai. From the Red Book. Yeah, from everywhere. From a school textbook. Oh, there's something really old. The old wooden pieces are in the building. We are in Anhui province. This is a typical image of Anhui province, especially in the category of architecture. About 15 minutes ago, actually, I noticed an alert on my wife's phone. Now I'm using my wife's phone as I explained in the beginning of the tour. And I saw a prompt warning low battery. So guys, hopefully the battery can hold out for at least to the end of the tour. That is another 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm really sorry. Next time I will definitely keep in mind the password of Hegel. I didn't expect that to happen. So just to be aware that if there is another accident, that just the battery is out, maybe the tour is just suddenly over. So just to be aware of that. And thank you for your understanding. but let's cross our fingers for the best. Oh, I see an old school building. Let's go there and check it out. And we also get to see the beautiful colors on the mountain: pink, red, white, all from the plum blossoms. If you turn off the map function, your battery will last longer. Yeah, yes, John. Usually this is what I do when I start a Hagel tour. But when my wife handed her phone to me, I didn't do that because I didn't think that much, right? And now since I'm filming now, I don't think I'm really in a good position to do that. Let's just pray for the best. And it's just a matter of 15 minutes. Hopefully we can do that. 稍微等一下，他们现在去哪里了？射线。This building in front of me looks like a Republic of China style architecture. Republic of China comes after the last dynasty, the Qing dynasty. In the year 1912, it was founded, and it lasted until 1949 when China became the People's Republic of China, which was also the ruling of the Communist Party of China. And this building, in style, looks like a Republic of China style. And probably this is when it was founded. And this is a primary or an elementary school in this village. There are a lot of tables here. And this is in preparation for the wedding. Maybe another wedding, see? The Chinese character pasted on the wall in the room, that is a double happiness. In pronunciation, this character reads "xi." I told you last time Chinese characters are always monosyllabic. Monosyllabic, always in single syllable. And this character, meaning double happiness, is read "xi." Pay attention to the intonation. Not "xi," which is the flat tone, the first tone. And the second tone is "xi." That is like the pronunciation of the last name of our current leader, right? And the "xi" is here in this case. Double happiness. And the last intonation, the falling tone is a "xi," xi, 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 xi. Most wedding banquets are held outside. Jessica, I would say yes. In rural China, wedding is at least a half outdoor event because there's more space here, and you can just lay more tables out and to invite more local folks to come. And also in rural China, because people are more traditional. Yeah, and a wedding is actually an event, a communal event, in which the local folks basically all come. They come to help. They come to, all right, good, let's go. Let's go that way. And now my wife, as my guide, is showing us the path leading up to the mountain. And I see it. Let's move there. Hopefully we can wrap up our tour there with a good view, looking back at the village. Oh, 在那儿。Yeah, in rural China, a wedding is actually a community event. All the folks come to help. They help, prepare tables, dishes, clean, wash, and bring extra stuff if the family needs it. Just all kinds of, help people do here. The same thing happens also in a funeral. People come to help. And in a funeral, also people, they gather together for a big meal with a lot of tables. All right, this is a good spot for views. And here on the left side, you can see the rocks, part of the natural landscape in the garden. And and then people and all kinds of bonsai, big bonsai trees, and then let's walk, keep walking down this way, and you can go with me up to the mountain right there. Maybe let me stay here for this good view. Black and white Anhui style architecture in the background of mountain in spring, dotted with plum blossoms in different colors. All right. Thank you, Smith. Thank you for all your support, interest. I love your questions that can help me think. And it would be so neat to see one. Do these plum trees bear edible fruits, or are they just planted for their beauty? John, this question, actually, I don't think I can tell the answer quite affirmatively. I think they are just for beauty. That's for sure. Well, the other part about the fruits, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I think usually they have different species, but I'm not sure. So need to see a wedding banquet in progress. Wow. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can see. And there's some kind of craftsmanship going on here. That man is making 罗汉果是吧？Oh, this is the ahat fruit. Do you remember the term I mentioned in Buddhism? Ahat. And here on the ground, you can see the ahat fruits. This is the fruit of ahat tree, ahat pine tree. And now this man is polishing it into a craft. No, sorry. The man is not polishing the ahat fruit. These are ahat fruits. That's right. But the man is polishing it into something like these. Stone decoration. Kind of stone. People are coming out in the beginning of spring. And you know what? You have to also think that in the past 3 years until the very end of last year, 2022, people were basically in China pent up by the COVID regulations for almost 3 years. They were pent up. They were locked down and locked up. And now, of course, they are coming out for some retaliation. Retaliative, this is a Chinese characteristic of retaliative tourism in the aftermath of COVID. How did that sound? Okay, let's go up before too late. Monk fruits, okay, monk fruits. 来，我们王兰兰这边的话，让我先走在前面好吗？对，我们在那边差不多在那边结束好了，可以有点景观看一下。There are 3 plants that are considered friends of people in the winter. The 3 winter friends. They are plum blossoms, flowers, bamboo, and pine. There's another concept in Chinese culture that is the 4 noble friends. Here, friends also refer to plants or flowers. They're actually flowers. You may take a guessing at what these noble flowers Chinese people consider in their culture. The lady is trying to pose for her best picture in this spot. And those four plants friends in Chinese culture, they are, guess, have you got it? In Chinese, they are 梅兰竹菊. 梅兰竹菊. 梅, again, plum. 兰, orchid. 竹, bamboo. And 菊, chrysanthemum. There's a drone hovering above me, and I think I already heard at least 3 drums on this tour so far. Traffic jam. I'm sorry, guys. Just now, the battery of my wife's phone was dead. That's right. And so, you know, we bring the power bank and we give the power to the phone from my power bank for a few minutes. Now I am back at the top of this mountain, and now we're looking back at this village and the sceneries around. Hopefully you get some last but best views. Yes, Virginia, I'm back. Now my wife's phone is on my power bank. We bring the power bank. After a few minutes of initial charging, I can film again. And I'm standing at one of the tops of the mountain. So for the last views for you, and also for myself. Hopefully you enjoy it. Before we finish, I stayed, but a few might have left. That's right, Barry. That's normal. Thank you for all your support. Yeah, looks like I lost the horizon, the book. Yes, it's not my fault, but I still want to say sorry for that. And because emotionally, I didn't want it to happen. Now I'm filming the other side of the ridge of the mountain before we really finish. Okay, guys? There have been some struggles today for the tour, and hopefully the beautiful views have made everything up for you. All right, guys, thank you so much for being here with us, enjoying the views of China. Thank you for your interest in Chinese people and China. And until next time, you know what? Actually, I have a tour of Huangshan Mountain in 2 days. It's the #1 tourist attraction in this area. Probably one of the top tourist attractions in entire China, the Yellow Mountain, Mount Huangshan. I will do it in 2 days. And the 3rd day from now, I'm going to do a sunrise tour at the peak of the Mount Huangshan. So I will do different tours there, you know, show you the rocks, the trees, the landform, the sunrise, the sunset, everything beautiful that I would like to share with you. Okay, guys, have a good day. Have a good night. Bye.